Hey everyone! To start, let's go to the Create panel on the right side of your screen. Click on the second icon, which is the Shapes category, and ensure the drop-down menu is set to Splines. We have a few options here, but let's look at the primitives first, like for example the rectangle. Click and drag in your viewport to set the dimensions. Something really important here is the orientation, as the shape aligns with the view you created in. If you draw it in the front view, the shape stands up vertically like a wall. If you draw it in the top view, it sits flat on the ground. For an architectural floor plan, for example, it's important to start in the top view so your base is perfectly flat. Now, let's look at the parameter that adds instant realism to the objects, the curve radius. Navigate to the Modify panel while your rectangle is selected. If we leave the corner radius at 0, we're going to have a sharp, digital-looking box that doesn't capture light well. But if we increase this value, the corners round off smoothly. This is perfect for furniture legs or modern architectural details. I recommend using a small value here even for sharp objects, because nothing in the real world has a perfectly sharp 90-degree edge. Beyond the standard rectangle, we have tools like the circle and the Ngon. The circle is straightforward for columns or round tables, and we can create it in a similar way than the one we did for the rectangle. But the Ngon is a hidden gem for geometric patterns. These tools allow us to generate polygons with any number of sides. If we drop the size parameter down to 3, we instantly get a perfect triangle. If we crank it up to 6 or 8, we get hexagons and octagons. We can use the Ngon primitive for things like floor tiles or modeling nuts and bolts, as it guarantees mathematical symmetry that is really hard to achieve by hand. Before we move on, there is a really important checkbox in the creation rollout called Start New Shape. This controls how 3ds Max organizes your geometry. If you leave this unchecked, which is the default, every time you draw a new rectangle or circle, it becomes a unique object with a separate color. But if you uncheck this and draw a circle inside another circle, for example, or a box inside of a box, they fuse into a single object. This is powerful because 3ds Max understands the spatial logic. The inner shape becomes a negative space. You can uncheck this when you need to create immediate holes, like windows openings in a wall or elevations or cutouts. Next is the line tool, which gives us total freedom. The creation method here relies entirely on how you use your mouse. If you simply single-click as you move, you create corner points, which results in sharp, angular lines like walls, for example. On the other hand, if you click and drag the mouse, you create a Bezier point, which pulls out a handle and creates a smooth curve. While drawing, holding down Shift is your best friend, because it snaps your line segments to 90 degrees or 45 degrees. This is super important for tracing floor plans accurately. When you are done, right-click to exit, or click back on your starting yellow vertex to close the spline loop. To edit these shapes, we need to go to the Modify tab and access the sub-object level. Let's select the vertex sub-object. Then, select a point and right-click it to see your options. If you choose corner, the line creates a sharp angle, which is rigid. But if you switch to Bezier, you get handles that control the curvature. If you pull the handles far apart, the curves get wide. But if you pull them close to the vertex, the curve tightens up. For organic shapes, where you need to control over curves entering and exiting a point, I recommend using Bezier Corner, which allows you to break the handle and control each side of the curve independently. You will often need to refine corners, and for that, we use Fillet and chamfer. Select a sharp corner vertex. If you use chamfer, it slices the corner at a flat 45-degree angle, adding a new segment. But if we use Fillet and drag, it splits that vertex and rounds the edge perfectly. This is a standard way to create realistic edges, for example, on countertops. Sometimes, you might find that your vertices aren't actually connected, which breaks your model. You can fix this by using Fuse to stack them on top of each other, and then use Weld to permanently join them. Finally, let's convert these 2D lines into 3D geometry. The classic way is the Extrude modifier. Go to the modifier list and apply Extrude. If you set the amount to something like 10 centimeters, you get a thin plate. If you crank it up to, let's say, 300 centimeters, we can see something like a wall. For things like molding, frames, or complex detailing, Extrude is limited. For these, we can use other options like Sweep Modifier or Bevel, which we're going to take a look in more detail in a future video. If you found this tutorial helpful, consider supporting my work on Ko-fi/Archviz. It helps me create more tutorials like this one. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to click the like and subscribe button. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. And thank you for watching.